In the beginning, before the first star ignited the void, before time itself learned to breathe, a secret was born. A secret so profound, so sacred, it was whispered only in the silent halls of heaven, a place no mortal has ever been allowed to witness. Tonight, we journey beyond the veil, to unveil a mystery buried in the depths of eternity, a truth so powerful that even angels tremble at its mention. Long before humanity built its first kingdom, before prophets walked the earth, there was a council. 7 angels, radiant and terrible, stood as guardians before the throne of God. They were the executors of the divine will, the witnesses to creation itself. Yet, one secret remained locked away, hidden in the folds of eternity, untouched by mortal thought or angelic gaze. It was the secret of heaven itself, a secret that no eye could behold without being consumed by its light, a truth that would shake the very foundations of the cosmos. No one knew when it would be revealed. No one knew who would survive its unveiling. But even as darkness began to creep across the fledgling worlds, that secret moved like a shadow, preparing for the day it would finally emerge. Suddenly, in the heart of the eternal light, there was a disturbance, a movement so subtle yet so profound, it sent ripples through the fabric of heaven. The angels, the ancient guardians, noticed it instantly. Their eyes, like molten gold, scanned the celestial expanse, sensing an approach that had never been foretold in any scripture or prophecy. And then it came. A figure, unlike any angel, unlike any being ever known, descended with an authority that could not be questioned. It carried the weight of the unspoken, the command of the unknown. Its arrival silenced the celestial chorus of heaven, and a hush fell over the divine realm. The angels whispered among themselves, a fear so deep that even eternity seemed to hold its breath. This figure bore a key not forged of metal, but of the divine will itself, the very essence of power, the embodiment of God's judgment. It was the key to the abyss. This key had been hidden since the creation of worlds, locked away within a forgotten realm of fire and shadow. It had waited, patient and silent, as civilizations rose and empires crumbled. And now it was in motion. The question echoed through the silent halls of heaven. Who would be brave enough, strong enough, or perhaps foolish enough to descend with it into the darkness? The abyss is no ordinary prison. It is a void of absolute despair, a place where time devours itself and every whisper becomes an eternal scream. It is a realm of pure chaos, of ancient rebellion, of forgotten spirits that hunger for release. And it waits. As the mysterious figure approached the great precipice, the 7 guardian angels aligned, forming a shimmering barrier between the known and the unknown. Each step the figure took toward the abyss sent tremors through the heart of heaven. The gates, untouched since the dawn of time, groaned under the immense weight of destiny. Deep inside the abyss, shadows stirred. They were not alive, but they were aware. Not free, but conscious. They sensed the key, the one artifact that could shatter their seals, release the primordial darkness, and awaken a power the universe had feared since its first breath. The figure, undeterred, stepped forward. Its eyes glowed with a light that was not of this world, a light that pierced through the void, through despair, through eternity itself. And then it spoke. Its voice, resonating through the corridors of heaven, declared, "Those who descend with me will witness the truth that has never been told. They will bear the burden of revelation. They will decide the fate of all worlds." A profound silence followed. Even the mighty angels held their breath. This was not a threat. It was destiny calling. The first to step forward was Michael, the warrior angel, whose sword had cleaved the heavens and whose faith had never once faltered. He knew of the abyss. He had guarded its edges and felt its insatiable hunger. Yet even he hesitated. The key was not merely a tool, it was judgment, it was destiny, it was a power beyond all comprehension. But with a resolve that hardened his celestial form, Michael stepped forward. And the abyss roared, not a roar of sound, but a roar of being, of existence itself, a declaration that it knew the one who dared to enter. Shadows twisted, hellfire sparked, and the void itself tried to devour the encroaching light. Yet the figure remained, the key glowing brightly in its hand, a beacon of courage in the face of eternity's greatest darkness. One by one, others followed. Seraphim, cherubim, angels of the highest order. Each was drawn by duty, by courage, by the undeniable pull of what was to come. With every step closer, they were assailed by whispers of terror, visions of despair, and temptations of unimaginable power. Yet the choice had been made, the descent had begun. The key began to pulse, not with magic, not with flame, but with purpose. It called to the abyss, it sang to the shadows, it demanded an answer, and from the deepest depths a presence emerged. It was not an angel, not a demon, it was something older, something that had witnessed the birth of the first star, the creation of the first soul, the fall of the first kingdom. The abyss itself had awakened. It spoke without words, it moved without motion, and it began to test them. The first test was of faith. Each angel who held the key felt a terrible pull, a darkness stirring within their own hearts, a reflection of their deepest fears, their hidden doubts, their forgotten sins. Yet those who trusted in the divine will, those who believed in a purpose beyond themselves, pressed forward. The second test was of courage. The shadows of the abyss tried to twist their minds, to turn allies into enemies, to pit brother against brother in a whirlwind of paranoia and distrust. But the unity of heaven held firm, stronger than the abyss could bend, stronger than fear could ever fracture. The third and final test was of revelation. With each step deeper, truths hidden since creation were laid bare. Secrets of angels who fell, secrets of worlds consumed by cosmic fire, secrets of the divine plan that mortals could never hope to comprehend. And finally, the key began to burn, not with fire, but with understanding. It unlocked a vision of the end, a prophecy of what would come when the abyss was finally released, when judgment fell, when heaven itself would tremble before the coming storm. The figure looked at the angels who had followed. "The time is near," it said, "but the choice is yours. Will you seal the abyss forever, or will you unleash its judgment upon the cosmos? Will you protect the balance, or will you become the architects of chaos?" No mortal could answer. No angel could ignore the weight of that question. The fate of eternity pressed down on every soul present, and then, in a final silent act of unity, they made their choice. The abyss did not resist. It opened, not with violence, but with a sense of inevitability. A soundless scream filled the void as the key turned, as destiny itself unfolded. Heaven trembled, hell recoiled, and the universe seemed to pause, holding its breath. And those who descended with the key finally understood the ultimate truth, that power, responsibility, and destiny are inseparable, that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it, that the great secret of heaven is not a weapon, nor a tool, nor a punishment, it is revelation. And the question remains even now, echoing through the ages: who will bear the key when the end finally comes? Who will stand against the abyss? Who will rise and who will fall? The secret waits, the key waits, and the abyss waits. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you were captivated by this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the mysteries of creation. We'll see you in the next one.